Good evening, I'm Haley Wilkes.
And I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks for being with us tonight. Our top story, a new effort by law enforcement officers across Manatee County to better serve our Latino community.
It's a growing community. In fact, in the last 12 years, it has grown by more than 350%. ABC 7's Dwayne Lindo is joining us now with what their biggest concerns are and what they hope officers will do differently. Dwayne.
Well, Haley, over the years, the issue of trust has always been an issue between the Latino community and local law enforcement. Now, those involved in a forum to discuss these concerns say this can bring things in the right direction. It was Thursday at DeSoto Square Mall in Bradenton where the first forum between law enforcement and Manatee County's Latino population took place.
We want the trust, we want a community functioning properly, not with fear.
Local Revista Latina magazine publisher Mel Betinez and Manatee Crime Stoppers came up with the idea to give the community a sense of what local law enforcement is all about.
They are not here to stereotype anybody, and they won't pull over or they won't go to anywhere that just because they look Latino or some other ethnic. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, there are more than 375 Latinos living in Manatee County, and that number is growing each year. Benitez says the forum was an eye-opener for law enforcement's need for Latino representation. They left clear that they have the doors open for anybody that wants to apply.
Over the years, I've seen a significant effort made by law enforcement and the police in trying to reach out to the Latino community. By having a dialogue and a conversation, they can understand what the primary issues are in the community.
According to nonprofit organization Unidos Now Executive Director Luz Coquera, adequate representation of Latinos on the police force is a start to ease one of the community's biggest fear, deportation.
Because they don't know what their rights or their responsibilities are sometimes. So
Coquera goes on to say that some even have a fear to report a crime to law enforcement, even if they're a victim. But forums like this one can start a change in culture.
To be active, to be present, to make an effort to recruit people who are relevant to the Latino community, but most importantly, to train people and foster leadership in their own ranks from people who are representative of the makeup of the community.
Now, both local law enforcement and the Latino community plan on having these forums at least once a month. Back to you.
Thank you, Dwayne. A 6-month-long investigation in Venice results in 3 people being arrested for alleged prostitution. Police officers raided 3 massage parlors today. Police say they've received several complaints from the community and found at least one of the parlors online offering prostitution. Police have spent the past several months staking out the businesses, keeping a close eye on activities there until they had enough evidence to go in.
It is prostitution under the laws of Florida, and to offer any type of sexual act in exchange for money, and that's what they were doing.
All 3 businesses have been closed down. Coming up tonight at 6, we'll hear more from the police department and local business owners.
Firefighters in Palmetto working in some intense heat late this afternoon while battling a fire. That fire broke out at a small building behind a home on US 41 North around 3 o'clock this afternoon. Once firefighters arrived on the scene there, the fire was fully involved. And because of the dry conditions, firefighters immediately started attacking the blaze from both sides, trying to put it out quickly and keep it from spreading.
The fire did start to spread, started a brush fire and started working its way over to the fence line towards Leisure Lakes. So the crews quickly tried to take care of that as well.
The fire is now out and no one was hurt.
We are still a little over a month away from the start of hurricane season, but our local emergency management leaders want to make sure they are ready for any kind of storm that impacts the Suncoast. Groups from Manatee and Sarasota counties met today for the annual hurricane preparedness exercise at the Manatee Public Safety Center. Law enforcement officers, firefighters, Red Cross volunteers, health officials, many other groups took part in this drill. They evaluated their emergency protocols, making the necessary updates to their plans so that everyone is on the same page as if a storm hits.
It's helpful to have all those different professionals in the same room talking the same language and learning each other's faces so that when the storm does come, they'll know who to go to when they need something.
Also taking part, local elected officials. This exercise takes place each year around this time.
Because it's time to get ready.
Yes, it is.
Don't
Get
wait
your
until the season.
kit and all that ready.
Yeah. Well, summer-like again today here on the Suncoast. Let's get more with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob?
Yeah, it's a good time to remind everyone, too, at home that we will be having our hurricane special, which will air live at 7 o'clock on June 1st. And you want to tune into that if you can. It'll be also available to record and be on our website. So keep that in mind as we move toward the hurricane season, which is just over a month away or so. You can see from the satellite review showing some dry air around, but that is slowly moving away. Some upper level cloudiness out here in the Gulf of Mexico streaming off toward the east. Things will moisten up a little bit to start the work week, but until then, it's going to stay hot and it's going to stay dry for the most part. 1 or 2 lone showers not out of the question over the weekend. But temperatures today, even near the coast, warmed into the upper 80s to low 90s. It's 86 right now. Dew point is at 71. Winds are out of the southwest at 15. And the pressure now 30.01 inches. Get a look at these temperatures. 91 in Orlando, the same in Jacksonville, 86 at the Sarasota Bradenton Airport, but 95 in Mayaca City. Lakewood Ranch are still at 90, the same into, looks like again, Punta Gorda, 93 in Parrish, 87 in Venice, the same in Northport, and temperatures are expected to be near record-breaking again tomorrow as the heat is on. Now we're looking at temperatures into the mid-70s at 11 o'clock. It will stay fairly warm and muggy, too. We'll have just a few clouds around and a chance for some patchy fog developing after midnight. We'll have more on the weekend weather and let you know about our rain chances, which are increasing somewhat for the weekend, coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. So far, so good when it comes to Zika. Florida agriculture officials say no mosquitoes in the state have tested positive for the virus so far this year. The state testing nearly 90,000 mosquitoes, and none of them show signs of the virus. The Zika virus is linked to birth defects. An outbreak in Miami's Wynwood Arts District last year was the first on the U.S. mainland. It lingered for more than a month, but was limited to a small area. The Commissioner of Agriculture, Adam Putnam, says it's still important that Florida communities have the resources they need for Zika response efforts.
Some Manatee and Sarasota County water customers may notice an earthy taste to their drinking water.
ABC 7's Kate Flexter explains what could be to blame and if it's something to be worried about.
Here at Manatee County Utilities, officials say the water is perfectly safe to drink. They say that unusual taste comes from something that happens every year. Richard Lopes lives in Manatee County, and for now he's ditching his faucet for bottled water.
I don't trust the water too many places.
This week, Manatee County releasing information that customers may notice an earthy or musty taste to the water, one they say is completely harmless. But Lopes is concerned.
If it don't taste right, it's not right. So I think they ought to investigate it more thorough.
And it's a concern shared by others in Manatee County who were frustrated they weren't informed.
Even a letter or a notice would have been important, I believe.
At Manatee County Utilities, though, Water Division Manager Mark Simpson says despite the taste, the water is safe for drinking. He says that taste is caused by seasonal algae blooms in Lake Manatee, the main source of drinking water for the county.
If you have a surface water reservoir in Florida, it's one of the things that goes along with it.
Simpson explains those blooms intensify during periods without much rain. And right now, Florida is in the middle of a drought. For now, utilities officials are doing additional treatment that's about 40% more expensive. And with no end to the drought in sight, Simpson says it's not clear how bad these algae blooms will get.
We're in for, at least another month of pretty dry weather, maybe even below normal dryness. So it could get a lot worse.
For additional information, log on to mysuncoast.com. We'll tell you who to get in touch with any questions or concerns. Reporting in Bradenton, Kate Flexter, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Kate, thank you so much. Still to come, your Suncoast News, hunters, wildlife, and bear cubs. Why 2 hunters are being investigated for what they did when they ran across those 2 cubs.
And ABC 7 Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your full weather forecast for the weekend. And a sprinkle of cinnamon doesn't just add a little flavor to your meal, it also boosts your health. We'll explain how coming up in Health Smart.
It's the season of savings right now during the spring clearance event at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Come shop the Suncoast's largest selection of new Jeep Wranglers, or stop by today and drive away in a 2017 Jeep Cherokee for just $18,999. And for a limited time, get America's best value, a new Dodge Journey for as little as $16,599. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. You'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information.
They had obviously researched every place, not just given me names. They found me a place for what she could afford, and it was magnificent.
We're now very confident that she's safe, and they just helped every step of the way, and I can't thank them enough.
So if you're struggling to find reliable senior living information, call A Place for Mom. This is a free service, and you can trust them to help you.
Call right now to get your free Senior Care Compass ebook. Find out about the 5 best-kept secrets on financing senior care and assisted living.
Call now, 800-290-0352. 800-290-0352.
When you want to get away from it all, to a place where you can do everything, or nothing at all, surrounded by natural beauty and all the modern amenities you might desire, then you'll want to be here at the Wanna Be Inn on the beautiful shores of Manasota Key, Florida. To plan your escape, log on to wannabeinn.com.
The Wild Broadway series at the Players Center brings you the classic farce, Boeing, Boeing. It's the 1960s, and our swingin' bachelor is juggling 3 beautiful stewardesses from 3 competing airlines. But what happens when Boeing produces a faster plane? Comedy ensues. Call the Players at 365-2494 or visit us online at theplayers.org. Opening April 26th, it's Boeing, Boeing.
2 hunters in Oregon are under investigation for what they did after finding 2 bear cubs in the wild. The pair decided to take those cubs home. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez shows us what punishment they now face.
Weighing in at just about 5 pounds each, these 2 bear cubs are now in the care of veterinarians.
Everything looks good.
Put her back. Brought to the Paws Wildlife Center after police say 2 hunters found the cubs near Portland, saw no sign of their mother, and decided to bring them home, where they were kept for as long as 2 days before the hunters contacted wildlife officials. Something Corey Hancock says he didn't realize when he found this bear cub injured, emaciated, and alone in Oregon last month.
My heart was racing. I was trying to figure out what to do.
After posting on social media asking for advice, he brought the bear to this wildlife center. Now it and the cubs found this week are together, being cared for in this enclosure with minimal human contact.
It's very important that they associate humans with bad things as opposed to being a source of food or a source of social interaction.
Which is why they urge people to call wildlife officials anytime there's a concern about an animal rather than taking matters into their own hands. As for those cubs, vets plan to keep them at that facility for a year before releasing them into the wild. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Florida firefighters may want to try a wildfire prevention technique that is working out west. For the past few years, fire and rescue crews in Anaheim, California have put goats to work in certain parts of the city that are vulnerable to fire. The goats are natural weed eaters, and they munch up all that excess vegetation and undergrowth.
It's more environmentally safe. It keeps the ecosystem in place. And what they do is they strip the landscape of the invasive plants and then allowing the native plants to grow more fruitfully.
About 175 goats are used to clear away 27 acres of overgrowth. And we've seen them do this all over the place, even at airports. I think they did it at O'Hare Airport in Chicago.
That story, yeah.
It's amazing how they can eat through all that so quickly.
They can come to my house in the summer.
Yeah, just bring them
I got a
around.
lot of weeds on my lawn. We are looking at some hot weather
Very
again.
hot.
Indeed, very hot. So fire danger will remain high. And yesterday we saw an individual isolated thunderstorm produced about 10 to 11 bolts of lightning. It was only one. There was only one cell that was into Highlands County. So we could see similar conditions again tomorrow for inland areas. We're talking temperatures in the mid 90s to upper 90s. East of I-75 in some areas. Now, Casey Key webcam better on the beaches with a nice sea breeze developing in the afternoon. It took a little longer, though, so temperatures near the beach even into the upper 80s today. And it looks as though we will see similar conditions on Saturday and Sunday. Things change a little bit as we head into the early part of the work week and a chance for rain comes into play. But the air is just so dry right now across the region. And the moisture kind of bottled up to the north of us and well down to the south of us. We're in between. We have some high cirrus clouds moving around right now, but the dry conditions will remain in place, and that means hot weather throughout the southeast all the way down into Florida. The heat, in fact, is going all the way up into places like the nation's capital and New York. A few showers down south. Current temperatures, it's 86 at the Sarasota Brady Airport, right at the end of the Venice Pier near Sharky's. It's 81 degrees there, so you'll notice if you're right on the water, it's much nicer, and just a few clouds around there. I mentioned those high clouds around there. It is 90 tomorrow, even at the airport. We'll see some high clouds occasionally and maybe an isolated inland storm, but no real significant rain anticipated. It will be a bit breezy for boaters, so keep that in mind. We're going to have winds at around 15 knots in the morning. It may subside a little bit in the afternoon, so we'll have a moderate chop out there. The RPM forecast model showing just fair weather cumulus clouds moving in from the southeast around that area of high pressure. A lot of storms into Arkansas, into Missouri, stretching off into Illinois tomorrow. Some of this could be rather rough and could cause some problems again on Sunday. And then that front gets close to the lower Mississippi Valley, very active cold front there. As I mentioned, it will start to squeeze a little bit more moisture into play come Monday and Tuesday of next week. And satellite and radar imagery showing the only real storm systems right now is the one right here over Missouri, Iowa, Illinois, and Indiana. There are some severe weather storms inside this mess, but the biggest concern is the flooding issue, and we're talking excessive rainfall amounts up to 2 inches of rain over a short period of time. This is a flood watch now in effect across all of northern Arkansas, throughout most of Missouri and southern Illinois tonight as that rain continues. Now, temperatures, a big contrast in the colder air across the northern plains through Kansas City and Chicago. 58 now there in Chicago, but notice out ahead of it in Washington, it's 83, 81 in Boston, so very warm over the eastern little slice over there, the northeastern United States, stretching down into the southeast, 86 in Dallas, and 54 in Kansas City. For boaters, I mentioned that wind out of the southeast. It'll be at 15 knots and then subside somewhat in the afternoon to 10 knots. And we'll have a moderate chop in the morning, maybe a light chop in the afternoon. And the water temperature now past the threshold of 80 degrees. It's 81 now, but that's a nice sea breeze even with that. We're talking during the summer months, the water temperature typically around 90 degrees. 87 beaches for a high tomorrow. UV index will stay high, so load up on the sunscreen. Tides upcoming for Sarasota Bay. We have a low tide at 10:08 and a high tide at 4:29. Another low tide at 8:45. Sunset will be at 8:02. And the forecast tonight calling for mostly fair, warm, a little bit of patchy fog. We saw that this morning around 8, 9 o'clock, a little bit of that fog lifting, creating some cloudiness around. East winds at 5 to 10. 71 for a low. That's well above average. And then tomorrow, mostly sunny near record highs, a high near 90. Southeast winds will continue at around 15, subsiding somewhat in the afternoon as that sea breeze tries to develop, but it won't have much of a chance. With a strong southeasterly wind, that means temperatures will soar even near the coast, and the hot temperatures continue on Sunday. We get back to slightly above average on Monday and Tuesday. The rain chance at 20%, 30% on Tuesday, and then we'll see that ever-present slight chance for scattered storms Wednesday through Friday. And notice Friday next week, highs in the low 80s and lows into the mid-60s, so a little bit of a cold front sweeping down through our area on Friday of next week. Scott?
Okay, Bob, thank you so much. In Suncoast Traffic Watch, right now we're seeing traffic backed up a little bit on US 301 in Sarasota. This is right near Fruitville Road. Not too much, but a few blocks there of red. Also, as you head west on Fruitville Road at this hour. Haley?
Thank you, Scott. In health news tonight, beer drinking may be affecting your heart's rhythm. German scientists went to Munich's Oktoberfest with handheld breathalyzers and EKGs to test people who were drinking. Now they report in the European Heart Journal that after controlling for age, sex, smoking, medications, and heart disease, even moderate beer consumption is associated with irregular heart rhythms or arrhythmias. Most, though, appear to be benign. But 1 in 20 participants did have some worrying arrhythmias, including atrial fibrillation, which when present is linked to strokes and heart attack in some cases. Energy drinks seem to affect people's hearts and blood pressure differently than other caffeinated beverages. That's according to a small new study published in the Journal of the American Heart Association. People who drank energy drinks in a controlled study had a QT interval, meaning the time it takes the heart's ventricles to prepare to beat again, 10 milliseconds higher than those who drank the caffeinated control beverages. Irregularity in the QT interval can sometimes lead to abnormal heartbeats. You might want to sprinkle some cinnamon on your toast or add a little dash to your coffee. New research is confirming previous studies about the spice's health benefits. A study by Ohio Northern University suggests the phenols in cinnamon activate a protein that is important to insulin regulation. The study's lead author says that means cinnamon could help with blood sugar regulation, lipid metabolism, and cell growth changes. Previous research found that people who consumed 1 gram a day of cinnamon saw blood sugar reductions comparable to prescription drugs. But the study author thinks smaller quantities like those used on our food could also have benefits. Coming up, a manhunt in Maryland. Officers search for a convict who escaped on the way to a maximum security prison. And watch out on the roadway. Drivers delayed on a busy Florida highway after a semi catches on fire.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
Since 2014, Addiction Hope and Helpline has answered calls for recovery and treatment 24/7, 365 days a year. If you're depressed, drinking, using drugs, or taking pills, call now and talk to someone who cares.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Most insurance covers substance abuse. You can get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call 800-622-1941. 800-622-1941.
Why settle for less? Get more for your money at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Nobody beats Subaru in service, quality, vehicle quality, and overall quality. And ALT named Subaru the 2017 top brand for residual value. Now lease the most fuel-efficient vehicle in its class, a new Subaru Outback for just $229 a month. Or get 0% financing with complimentary maintenance included. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Everyone loves a bright and cheerful smile. Not everyone can find the dental care they need and can afford. Now there's a place nearby where anyone can receive professional quality dental care at an affordable cost. The Lecom School of Dental Medicine in Lakewood Ranch is now accepting patients. You will receive your care in comfortable, state-of-the-art treatment rooms. To schedule your appointment, please call the Lecom Dental Group practices, 941-405-1600. We will be happy to see you smiling again.
A manhunt is underway in Maryland tonight for an escaped prisoner who was serving a 106-year sentence for the attempted murder of police officers.
David Watson II was being transported to a maximum security mental hospital when he escaped and ran into the woods. He had been serving time since 2013 when he was sentenced in Delaware for shooting at the home of a police officer. At that time, Watson was found not fit to stand trial. A court order says he was a danger to himself and others.
You really get all hands on deck to go after someone who has been accused of either killing or shooting a police officer. So this was, as usual, would be a very intense manhunt.
Authorities say if Watson is armed, he will try to shoot at law enforcement, and if that happens, officers are prepared to use force if necessary.
An incredible and terrifying sight for drivers on Florida's Turnpike. An 18-wheeler went up in flames in Palm Beach County this morning. The hay it was hauling fueled that fire. Crews were able to put it out quickly, but the driver was able to get out safely as well. Needless to say, it did back up traffic on the Turnpike for quite some time.
Traffic on a busy Washington highway comes to a grinding stop when a massive tree falls right into the roadway, injuring a driver. A dash cam captured the whole scene. Look at this right here as it falls on the car. Wow. The Department of Transportation uses tree experts regularly to patrol the highways in search of potentially hazardous trees that need to be removed. An investigation is ongoing.
A mountain lion scares some unsuspecting shoppers near Santa Cruz, California. The lion was perched in a tree near a shopping center yesterday. Nearby schools and businesses had to be put on lockdown until that animal was safely removed. A sheriff's office sergeant says the mountain lion is a male and maybe a juvenile. A tracking collar was placed on the animal before it was released far away from shoppers.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Still to come on your Suncoast News, a Bradenton mother is speaking out, warning other parents after her child was allegedly molested by a man who runs a daycare.
Plus, ensuring students are safe. The harsher penalties that may be on the way for drivers who pass a stopped school bus.
Introducing the all-new Alfa Romeo Giulia, a performance masterpiece. Race-inspired handling and lightning-fast response times take your drive to the next level. Find yours at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
The agents at SWC would like to show you pictures of all the homes that they've sold quickly for their clients. But they're just too many to show. Contact SWC today and find out for yourself. We just market your home better.
Attention, this is an important message for anyone who has taken Xarelto or Pradaxa. If you or a loved one took the blood thinner medication Xarelto or Pradaxa and was then hospitalized for internal bleeding, you may be entitled to significant compensation. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to serious, even fatal internal bleeding. If you suffered a stroke, heart attack, or serious internal bleeding, or if a loved one died after taking Xarelto or Pradaxa, call us now. Our network of attorneys have years of experience fighting the big pharmaceutical companies and is ready to fight for you. Potential claims are being reviewed for users of Xarelto or Pradaxa who have suffered severe bleeding or hemorrhaging, stroke, or even death. Our network of experienced attorneys is ready to fight for you. You won't pay a thing unless your case is settled. Call today for a free confidential consultation. Don't fight this alone.
Please call 800-928-6604. That is 800-928-6604.
What Florida city is best known for spaceflight?
Cape Carnival.
Cape Carnival? Close enough. What condiment includes vinegar, molasses, and anchovies?
Westchester sauce.
Close enough. And now, a word from our sponsors.
One-off from the Florida Lottery. Now available for pick 2, 3, 4, and 5 games. Miss by one on any or all numbers and still win.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I'm creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah, yeah.
Julia from Alfa Romeo. Appearance. Performance. Power. Find yours at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.